1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that initial preparation for a service constitution on the Registrar General's Department has begun. It has been stated that severe problems have been created regarding the electricity generation for not taking policy decisions needed for it. Attention should be paid on establishing solar power panels. Activities at the Yugadanavi power plant of the 250 megawatts will be completed by May next year. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa says that providing radiation treatment machines for the cancer patients should be conducted systematically. Foreign news: U.S. House of Representatives vote to oust Republican leader. News in detail. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that initial preparations for service constitution on the Registrar General's Department has begun. The groups who are arriving to obtain the services from the Registrar General's Department have faced many hardships due to the delay of digitalization of the program. The Prime Minister also stated that he is ready to answer any question. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara says that severe problems have been created regarding the electricity generation for not taking policy decisions needed for it and not implementing long-term plans. He also said in Parliament that sufficient rain has not been received to the electricity power plant areas. The water level of the Victoria, Randanigala, Rantambe and Samanalawewa reservoirs are at a low level. Parliamentarian Ajith Manapirma has pointed out that attention should be paid on establishing solar power panels. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara said that Sri Lanka has also agreed to the policies for not to construct coal power plants according to the agreement reached globally. Therefore, still there isn't a possibility to further construct Norachole and Sampur coal power plants. However, the activities at the Yugadanavi power plant of the 250 megawatts at the LMG power plant will be completed by May next year. Plans will be implemented to generate electricity through renewable energy sources. A cabinet paper will be submitted during the next 2 weeks on the Ministries of Investment Promotion and the Electricity under the advice of the President. Accordingly, it is expected to provide 300 megawatts of solar power plant electricity generation. The lands needed for it have already been identified. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara said that the target is to obtain 70% of electricity required by solar power within the next 3 years. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa says that providing radiation treatment machines for the cancer patients should be conducted systematically. A proper investigation should be conducted on the medicines that have been purchased without the permission of the National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Authority and removed from the usage of 22,500 bottles of vaccines. Minister Mahinda Amaraveera has advised officials to supply chemical fertilizer needed for paddy and other crop cultivation in the Maha season without any shortage. A progress review meeting was conducted at the Ministry of Agriculture yesterday regarding the stock of fertilizer at the fertilizer companies. Recently, there are 75,000 metric tons of urea fertilizer at the private fertilizer storages, and there are 21 metric tons of fertilizer at the government's storages. Former Central Bank Governor Ajith Nimad Cabral and former Presidential Secretary Lalit Wiratunga have been released from the case filed by Venerable Thiniyavala Palitha Thero over alleged public funds misappropriation. Additionally, the case has been dismissed by the court. Palitha Thero had filed a personal complaint against the duo, accusing them of misappropriating public funds during Cabral's tenure as the central bank governor. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Chairman of the Livestock Development Board, Professor H.W. Cyril, says that a program has been organized to mark the 50th anniversary of the National Livestock Development Board. It will be held at the Mels Animal Husbandry Farm in Kurunegala on the 6th and 7th of this month. The employees who have worked for more than 25 years that the board will also be commended. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
In Watchlight this afternoon, the drivers who are arriving from distant areas to the Anuradhapura town are facing many difficulties due to faded signboards at roundabouts relevant to the roads. This is for the attention of the Road Development Authority, and that came to you in Watchlight. Moving on to world news. In the headlines, the U.S. House of Representatives vote to oust Republican leader. Australian towns battle fire and flood back-to-back. And at least 21 dead as Venice bus plunges from bridge. Kevin McCarthy has been toppled in a right-wing revolt, the first time ever that a U.S. House of Representatives Speaker has lost a no-confidence vote. The final tally was 216 to 210 to remove the California congressman as leader of the Republican majority in the lower chamber of Congress. Hardline Republicans mutinied after Mr. McCarthy struck a deal with Senate Democrats to fund government agencies. There is no obvious successor to oversee the House Republican majority. Hours after they were threatened by fire, several Australian towns are preparing for floods. Bushfires have been burning in Victoria's Gippsland region and New South Wales south coast this week. Both areas were hit hard by Australia's Black Summer bushfires 4 years ago. Rain is now offering some reprieve, but it has also triggered flood warnings. The country has reeled from disaster to disaster in recent years as it feels the effects of climate change. At least 21 people, including 2 children, have died after a bus crashed off a flyover near Venice and caught fire, officials say. The bus broke through a barrier and plunged near railway tracks in the district of Mestre, which is connected to Venice by a bridge. Among the dead are 5 Ukrainians, 1 German, and the Italian driver, City Prefect Michel Di Bari said. Venice mayor said a huge tragedy has taken place and apocalyptic scene. There are no words, he said on social media. The bus is thought to have been rented to take tourists between Venice and a campsite in the nearby Marghera district. Back to the headlines of the world news. The U.S. House of Representatives vote to oust Republican leader. Australian towns battle fire and flood back-to-back. And at least 21 dead as Venice bus plunges from bridge. And that ends world news.
Development news.
The Cabinet of Ministers gave the green light for a 25-year lease of around 219.72 hectares of land to facilitate a 100-megawatt solar energy project, Siembalandur Divisional Secretariat Division of the Monragala District. The proposal to this effect put forth by the Power and Energy Minister Kanchana Wijesekara on the recommendation of the Lands Ministry to lease the land on a long-term lease basis for 25 years to the Sustainable Energy Authority with relevant provisions to enable subleasing to a selected renewable energy developer. And that is development news. Moving on to sports news. Sri Lanka Under-19 cricket team will engage in a match tour in Pakistan at the middle of this month. A 4-day cricket match and 5 one-day internationals is included in the tournament. Accordingly, the youth 4-day cricket match will be held from the 15th to the 18th of this month. The one-day matches are scheduled to begin on the 22nd of this month. All matches will be played at the Karachi National Stadium. And that was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න
The all new
NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
On to business news. In a joint initiative aimed at fostering energy efficiency among businesses and simplifying energy usage reporting, the United States Agency for International Development has partnered with the Sri Lanka Sustainable Energy Authority to unveil a groundbreaking tool. This innovative platform is designed to assist businesses in curbing electricity consumption by promoting efficient practices and conservation methods, thereby addressing the challenges posed by escalating energy costs. The launch of NEBP marks a significant step towards a more sustainable and energy-efficient future for businesses in Sri Lanka. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth ekata life ekේ change ekata niyamata set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekata niyamata set wenna friendship ekaka menna. The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. The Board of Investment will be launching a new program for investor retention and expansion, as well as a special 100 IT and ITES companies initiative. BOI Chairman Dinesh Virakuli said the investor retention program is targeted to encourage existing investors to retain their profits and reinvest or expand their business operations within the country. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
The prevailing showery condition in southwestern part of the island is expected to continue further. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabragamuwa, southern and northwestern provinces and in the Kandy and Nuwara districts. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the western, Sabragamuwa and southern provinces. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the eastern and Nuwara provinces and in the Polonnaruwa and Mullaitivu districts during the evening or night. And that was the weather report. Prior to concluding this news broadcast, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that initial preparation for a service constitution on the Registrar General's Department has begun. The minister says that severe problems have been created regarding the electricity generation for not taking policy decisions needed for it. Attention should be paid on establishing solar power panels. Activities at the Yugadanavi power plant of the 250 megawatts will be completed by May next year. Opposition leader Sajith Premdasa says that providing radiation treatment machines for the cancer patients should be conducted systematically. On foreign news, U.S. House of Representatives vote to oust Republican leader. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And it's over to Heshma Samath on the other side to keep you entertained this Wednesday afternoon. Over to you, Heshma.